My name is Wanjiku Kironyo. I'm a counseling psychologist. The topic that I'd like to share with you now is asking the question and trying to answer the question why women are sexually exploitable. Most of the society subject women to all kinds of abuses, dehumanization. Some of the practices that I can share with you here that affect the women is the female genital mutilation, which is in short called FGM. This includes physical pain, some stitches that follow that so that the woman can remain a virgin. It is also physically and psychologically very painful to an extent where people who have gone through that, some study has shown that the women go through the anxiety when they remember the trauma of what they went through because of the fear and also the pain of such a memory that even to an extent where their sexual behavior is affected because of such a trauma. Not to talk about even into the details about the many kinds of infection that these women are subjected to during such a time, and even the mechanism that is used for stitching them or for circumcision or female genital mutilation in itself cause a lot of infection. So we have seen cases where most of these girls or some of these girls has ended up becoming unreproductive and even some of them dying because of the infection. Other practices that we have seen in other places is where the women lower ribs is expanded with an object so that it can hang all the way to the neck, or sometimes they use some sort of chains that are used around the neck to make the women neck look longer, or mark the faces with the subject, an object that is very painful. And all that is made or done in the name of making the woman look beautiful. There are other issues that affect the women is the dowry. Even though that we know that most of the African communities encourages dowries for the sake of exchanging gifts or building relationship between the two families, those dowries sometimes have gone to an extent or been so exploited to an extent where the woman herself is made to feel that she has been bought. And therefore, whoever has bought this woman can treat her like any object or an animal. And there's time when these women have been beaten or mistreated in the marriage, and they have nowhere else to go back to because the parents will say, we already received the dowry from him, so we cannot force you to stay here. You have to go back and live with that man. I remember there was a time when I was a young woman where one of these women came back to the family because of the mistreatment and the abuses that she was going through. And her father insisted, go back to that marriage. And in fact, when he was forcing her to go back, he beat her so badly, she was expectant. And she died. And the case was not pursued in any court, because in any case, those days, those were domestic issues. And therefore, she could not, the father would not have been pursued by the law. There's a lot of brainwashing that comes along with that, because in the first place, marriage is given a lot of weight in a community, which is okay. But the women are also conditioned to believe that if you don't go through that, if you don't allow yourself to go through that, you'll never be able to get a husband. And so the women are the ones who carry these practices forward to ensure that their daughters or the girls in their community has gone through that. There are other issues where we find that women have been subjected to be cut fingers or even put an object like a shoes on the foot that deform her as she grows, and it was supposed to be a sign of beauty. And the cutting of the finger is done or was done when the husband or a loved one has died to prove that you cared enough. So the fact that some of these things are meant to be part of the beauty of a woman or they are part of what make the marriage a strong marriage, women go prepared. And because they go prepared into that, they are numbed. No matter what happened, put up with it, because it is for your own good, it is for our cultural good, it was for our family good, it was for our society good. What we have also seen is that women, many girls, have been exposed to raping within the family. Incest is very common within the family, and this does not matter whether people are poor families or rich families, whichever. It doesn't matter. It cuts across all communities. And therefore, when the compensation is to be done, it is usually done to the family, not to this girl. If she was pregnant as a result, if her body has been destroyed through that kind of experience, she carried the blame, she carried the pain, but the compensation is done to the family. She's also supposed to remain silent so that she can maintain a good image of that family. So women are conditioned to believe that they are the one who are carrying this for the goods of the family, for the sake of being good wives, good women. And so when I talked about earlier that why it's so easy to exploit women sexually, is because that conditioning numbs their feelings, so that when these girls come of age, it's so easy for them to be exploited sexually by other people, from the family to the society. For example, when there's a need for the family to be supported when they are poor, it is expected that the girl, her mother, are the one to figure out what is going to be eaten in this family. It doesn't matter where you get whatever you bring, but you have to bring something home. And so what does this mean? It means that these girls will go out in the streets, they look for any ways and means to bring the food home. We also see the same thing when it comes to education of the brothers and sisters in the family, or if the mother has been sick and she's a single mother, this girl is expected to go out there and figure out how to earn some money and bring home for the support of the family. So it begins very early, that we condition the women to believe that it is their responsibility to take care of everybody, and in the process, they will do anything that is possible to bring home something to support their family. So in the process, you may find that the girls are very vulnerable to men who sell their bodies and make money out of them. They exploit these girls because they already know that the girl is ready. There has been already a very fertile ground that was established through the conditioning of the way the girl had been socialized. And so she'll go for it without any question. And so we see a lot of women being abused at a very early age. And so I would like to say strongly here that no one hurts other people unless themselves has been hurt. And in the process, what I mean here is that men in our society has been subjected to so many hurt. And so it is so easy for them, it has been so easy for them to hurt the women without even giving it as a thought. In fact, if you bring this issue to the men, the question will be, what's wrong with you? This is normal, this is natural, this is okay. Because we have been made to numb the feelings of hurting other people because we have been hurt. So what is the way forward here? One thing I would like to encourage is for people to become aware that this is a hurtful experience that people practice. And because it is hurtful, we have to address it as a painful experience that does not necessarily need to be carried forward to the next level. The communities become more aware of the effects. Victims should be able to be encouraged to speak about what they have gone through in their lives, because most of them are isolated. When you go through such experiences, you become so isolated, you think you are the only person. So there ought to be somewhere, somehow, where women can come together to talk about their pasts, their, what you call the journey of their lives, what they went through, the milestone. And if they can share those, what did I go through? Why did I have to go through this? And if they can share this, then the question is, what is the way forward? Our churches, our other institutions that we have around our communities need to also look at this thing as a serious issue and be able to address that. And our schools. Within our schools, let's conscientize our boys and girls that for a family to be a strong family is first of all is to have two health-minded, not just one person who is taken care of very well and the other one is being exploited and is being abused. The other thing is that even our government, our law, our regulations should also incorporate the issues of this nature so that we can be able to reinforce them. Because when a girl is subjected to this kind of abuse, she has nowhere to run. She has no family to go to. She has no police to go to. She has no ways and means to go to court over this issue. And so she finds it very convenient to just carry forward her life. And often they will say, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And so I decided to remain silent with the issue. So my recommendation is that we treat this issue as if we are all in this together. Not just the women, not just the men, but all of us together. Thank you.